Baldur's Gate. I first bought this game a year before I even played it. I used to do that a lot as a teenager. I would buy games and then years would go by before I got to sit down and play them. Such was the case with Baldur's Gate. It was 1999 and me and my friend had just failed to hike the Appalachian Trail for the first time. Yes, we tried more than once. I had taken time off from my job, having tons of vacation saved up. So with nowhere else to go or things to do, we sat down and began our first playthrough, Baldur's Gate. It took some time to get going, figuring out what kind of character we were going to play and what they were going to look like, and of course, what the profile picture was. So after deciding on the most generic, sword-wielding, muscle-bound freak, looking dumb as rocks, sounding brute of a warrior, we began our quest. And man, this game was insane. Understand, it came on 5 CDs, a thick manual with great little iterations and stories throughout, and a game map. Man, I miss game maps. Anyways, the movies were great, and Sarevok had the best looking armor around. You get dropped into a small little village, Candlekeep. You make your way around doing small chores and favors for the guards. Nothing too bad. Now here's the thing. The way we played the first time was pretty chaotic. Sometimes we may save the damsel in distress, or sometimes we may decide to kill someone's prize-winning cow. It was just kind of us saying, okay, let's vote. What are we going to do this time? That comes into play later. But getting everything done and finally leaving the first zone was a breath of fresh air. And sure, games before this had done things similar, but not so perfectly. You felt the dread as you and Gorion fled, and with good reason, as Sarevok lays waste to all that you held dear in the night. Nothing game-wise had been so bold as to take and just drop you into misery so quickly and so helpless. It was great. This game's environments and atmosphere of exploring and adventure are so prevalent and still amazing to this day. The beautifully handcrafted artwork, the birds sing as you hear waves crash upon the rock cliffs. I still love the cutscenes when you go to rest or enter new locations. For the playthrough, I made sure to replace all the enhanced editions videos with the originals. It just felt right. The new ones are so out of place and just, to me, don't fit. So when we came back to do the playthrough for the channel, I wanted to try and emulate the best that I could the first time when my friend and I played all those years ago. Maybe not as chaotic this time though. The beauty in every place being handcrafted and cared for by the creators. Each map location feels unique and monsters' personalities show true. The story's handwoven and meaningful. Definitely brings me back to that first time. One moment that stands out is one of the villages south of Baragost. There's a very annoying individual. If you've played this game, you know. But basically this guy follows you around if you make the mistake of talking to him, and never leaves you alone. When my friend and I played the first time, he said he did not want to harm this guy. So I said, sure. Waited until he went to grab food, and promptly split the guy in half with a 2-handed greatsword. Listen, you cannot leave me alone like that. If anything, it was definitely my friend's fault. Needless to say, he was not so pleased when he came back. But I reassured him, we had lost no happy holy points at all with the people. And in this playthrough, the same NPC met the same fate. But that was the thing in this game. You can make those choices. And yes, some of them mattered, but some of it mattered only to you. Are you good? Are you bad? You're just controlled chaos in human form. This is how it should be done. The closest another game has come was the first Pillars of Eternity game. Another amazing experience, with its choose-your-own-adventure style. So good. And to say, I don't always want to play a warrior just swinging a sword around. I always wanted to play a mage, instead of charge in and smash everything warrior. I just hate how squishy they are. I mean, you are a mage. Should you not be protected from your own spells? Also, why do you have no strong magic armor? I did try once to be a mage in Baldur's Gate, but I failed miserably. I couldn't do it. and I got so pissed off to keep trying. I feel the first game I actually enjoyed playing a mage and beat the game with was Dragon Age Origins, another great game. That doesn't mean I did not try a mage in other games, such as Icewind Dale, Dungeon Siege, and Guild Wars 1. But I just cannot get into the mage class. Although Dungeon Siege had a great cannonball spell, and Guild Wars has Fire Rain and Meteor Shower. What's funny is my wife loves to play mages. In fact, that's all she ever plays. She did our Skyrim playthrough on the channel. Now you may think patience is needed to play a mage, but quite the opposite, at least for us. I have all the patience in the world. My wife, not so much. So let's talk about the blacklisting of Baldur's Gate 3 here. Understand I had the game pre-purchased as soon as it could possibly be pre-purchased. The studio in charge was the same studio who brought one of the greatest games ever created, Divinity Original Sin 2, to the world. And if you have not played that game, I highly suggest playing it. Also check out our ongoing playthrough on the channel. It's an amazing game. So to say I was excited about Baldur's Gate 3 release is an understatement. Unfortunately, as all things, it did not release the year that they said it would. And then more waiting and more waiting. Finally, it was released, and for one reason or another, I had to wait about a year after release to finally get to play. The first act was okay, not up to the greatness of their last game, and it really did not feel like either Baldur's Gate or Divinity. The first time I started getting into the game was at the Witch's Hut. Then, the long slog through the Underdark happened. Previous games did not make it so simple or easy to just hop into the Underdark. So, to me, that was odd. Then it was off to Act 2. And some of these parts were very good. The hospital was my favorite. But then came Act 3. And the nightmarish BS of the all-encompassing ending. I don't know what happened. The whole game seems like tons of ideas were thrown out into a mixing bowl, and then thrown onto a table in no particular order, and they didn't say, oh, don't do this idea. They just did all of the ideas all at once. I ran into so many bugs in the third act that some quests just disappeared. Others broke completely. NPCs would glitch out in the background and bounce from one side of the screen up into the air, back down, all over the place. On a more important note, I rescued an owlbear cub, and it was at my camp, happy as a clam. It too just disappeared and never came home. No reason, no nothing, just gone. And do not even get me started with the whole Mind Flayer love scene bullshit. This game soured me to ever pre-purchase a game ever again. And I know a lot of people love this game. I just go back and play the original and you'll see the difference. Since now I'm ranting, let's get into it a little more. I'll tell you what I miss the most about the old releases. The beautiful artwork on the boxes, the goodies inside, the manuals, the cloth maps, the small details put into writing stories in the manual. The Might and Magic series used to do an amazing job with this. What happened to that creativity? Now you get a digital download and that's it. Or maybe a digital art book you will never look at. It's sad. This is across all walks of life now, not just gaming media. And we should have never let that go. In fact, this kind of thing should be the thing that gets rebelled back against. That they can now take away a game that you paid money for because it's on their server. That would never be an issue with a physical copy of the game. And sure, most systems no longer have DVD players, and sometimes discs do go bad. But release the game on a flash drive and still give us the physical box. Bring back the pride, quality, and joy of the design and release. Why was this ever allowed to happen? Convenience? Was it worth it? My opinion, not at all. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to check out any of our numerous playthroughs, and check back every Friday afternoon for another Afterthoughts video. Have an amazing adventure, and we appreciate you all.